I'm Chris Carter, host of the Locked On Steelers podcast, with this Locked On Now update that the Pittsburgh Steelers have agreed to terms during the tampering period with offensive lineman James Daniels. James Daniels was a 4-year starter, former second-round pick from the Chicago Bears, who played both center and guard, was a talented player, and one of the more highly sought-after guys in free agency. They signed him to a 3-year deal worth $26.5 million over those 3 years. That's a very good rate that gets you on average below $9 million a year for a very good starter. He looks as a guy that could, again, either play center or guard, giving the Steelers more flexibility on the interior of the offensive line, which was their weakest point of that group back in 2021. It's a major move by Kevin Colbert on the same day that they signed Montravius Adams, defensive tackle, bringing him back on a 2-year, $5 million deal. It's also a sign that the Steelers are willing to address the offensive line. And in this year, when the Steelers are trying to be more about running the football, it kind of puts the Steelers in a best player available situation even more with the NFL draft. For a long time, people have been thinking Tyler Linderbaum, Zion Johnson as given picks for the Steelers in the first round. Not yet anymore. Now the Steelers have more flexibility at the interior offensive line. It doesn't guarantee that you have to live with Kendrick Green as a starter if he doesn't come into camp the way that you want him to, but it also gives you the opportunity with him and Mason Cole, your signee that you brought in on the first day of the tampering period. Now you have competition on the interior of the offensive line, as well as Kevin Dotson. And still, this doesn't preclude the Steelers from drafting another interior offensive lineman or even adding more during free agency. All it does is give Kevin Colbert, Matt Canada, and the Steelers offensive line a lot more flexibility between their interior positions, on top of already bringing back Chukwuma Okorafor for the offensive tackle. What's next for the Pittsburgh Steelers? No one can be certain, because they have addressed several different needs already. But they still have cap space, and they still have cap space that they can create by letting go certain players, restructuring other players, and making big moves. Either way, the Steelers are out here still making moves, and we'll keep you updated on the Locked On Steelers podcast. Again, I'm your host, Chris Carter. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Carter Critiques. We'll be keeping you updated with our full episode update for Wednesday, talking more about what the Steelers are doing in free agency.